Hello friends. In this lecture, first I'll be discussing with you about the input and output statements, and then we'll be writing our first C program. So, wherever one wants to display some message or something, wants to print something onto the terminal, that is the output window, then the function printf should be used. And then, as this is a function, so what has to be passed to this function is a string. What is a string? It is set of characters written inside double quotes. So whatsoever you write that this is C program. So this is a set of characters that is a string. Okay, so whenever you have to pass or you want to pass certain output or you want to print certain output onto your console or the terminal, then you should use printf function. This is basically print formatted statement. Okay, so then after this you should be using semicolon to end the statement. So let's say you want to pass hi, then you should be writing printf, print and if there is no space printf, then inside double quote hi, and that's it, done. So this will be displayed onto your console. So whenever one wants to write this particular thing, then this has to be printed. Apart from this, if you want to print any variable, let's say you have a variable name a and this is having value 5, then you should be writing printf and then now what you want to print. I want to print this as such. Okay, then double quotes a is equal. Now this is okay. Then 5 has to come. How to do that? Then for that matter, if this is an integer type, let's say this is having integer type, then a format specifier should come here. That means here you should be writing format specifier for this one, and for integers to specify it, it is percentage %d, and then you close it, then comma, and then the variable whose value you want to be placed inside this string at the place of this format specifier, so that is a, and then close it. So remember, whenever you are interested in printing the value of a certain variable, then you have to use the format specifier for it. If let's say I am interested in printing b and this b is of float data type having a value, let's say 2.9, then what? Then you should be writing like this, printf, then double quotes, then you want to print the string as such, so it is b is equal to then 2.9 in place of 2.9 format specifier. So for float it is percentage %f, then close it, and then comma, then what is coming in place of this? This is nothing but variable b, and then close the statement. So in this way you can uh, uh, pass your output to the terminal. And for character, remember it is percentage %c. Okay, so this is what we call as output statement. So printf is the output statement. Now, what is your input statement? You know, whenever you create a variable, let's say I create a variable int and then a, then either you can supply the value of a in the program itself, or you want to supply the value from the keyboard. So if you want to supply the information from the keyboard to the program or to the memory location where A is, so what you can do is you can use scanf. This is called a scan formatted string. And then how? So in double quotes, you should be writing the format specifier for this a. So what is a? It is integer type, so it will be %d. Then after this, where you want this information to be kept in memory. So we want this memory to be kept at the address of a. That is what we write for address, means at the address of a. Some people also say that m%a. So this will do what? So in the memory, the moment you write this, so inside the memory, inside your stack, this a will be created. Now right now it doesn't have anything. So, or you can say garbage. So the moment you give this, so it in the console, it will be blinking like this. It will be blinking. So it will be waiting for you to supply some input, some information. So once you supply, so once you give, let's say I have given 10, then and enter, so this 10 will come to this particular location during the runtime. So in this way you can supply information. But there is a problem. When you write this statement only, so the user of that particular program will not understand what is happening. So normally we do what? We write at this place we give a printf. That means we supply a string for the user to understand what has to be supplied. So if I say enter an integer, then this will understand. So the user will understand basically what has to be done. So this will be printed as such, and then cursor will blink. So now user will be in a position to understand what he has to enter. Okay. So in this way, input statements are normally works. Now comes the program writing. So let us start writing our first program. So before that, again I will quickly uh, refresh your memory that inside program you will be having your header files first, then user defined functions. Right now we don't have any, so we'll be skipping this portion, and then comes our main function, that is the entry point of our program. So uh, you can use any, ideally you can use, or you can also use online, that is a GDB compiler you can use. So there you can also write the programs. And so let us start by showing you that how GDB looks like and how the interface is, and how to write program online without saving or installing any ideally onto your system. So let us directly jump to uh, this GDB compiler. So this will be the GDB online debugger will show, and once you do that, then this is the portion, this is the window where you can edit or write the program. From here you can select the compiler for the programming language you are working on. There are so many. Let us select C, and it has already given us something like this is the portion for our header file and the main. So let us delete everything and let us write from the scratch. The first thing first is your header files. What is this double line? This particular forward double slash means comment. To make our program more understandable, we normally provide comments so that whenever in next time we'll be using it, we'll be in a position to understand what this particular piece of code stands for. So header files. So hash include, and then standard input output we'll be using first stdio, and then the extension, that is h. So hash include stdio.h is the header file which I am using first. Then what? Then comes user defined function. So we are not touching up on this particular topic right now. Then directly coming to main function. Now, so main. So first I'll be declaring the return type of this. So it is an integer, then main, then parenthesis, then comes the block of main. So whatsoever the program will be, that I'm writing inside these two curly braces. So remember, first the data type, that is the return type of this function, then the name of the function, which is main, then parenthesis, and then the block. So as this is an integer, so I will be saying return 0. Okay, so on successful execution of this program, here it is terminal, so it will be returning 0 to me. Let us run this and see what happens. So the program code has returned, the program has exited with, successfully it has ran, and it has exited with a code 0. So if I write 10, so it will be saying code 10. So it doesn't matter whether you are writing 0, 1, 2, 10, anything, any integer can be there. Okay, now first using our output statement, that is printf. So printf, printf, and then we'll be passing a string to it. And let's say, hi, I am using C, and then semicolon to stop or to terminate this particular line. Then run it. So in the console, you'll be able to see how I am using, hi, I am using C. Or let's write another thing. Let's say that this is Newton's law, Newtons, Newton's law. So this will be printed here as such. So whatsoever you write here, it will be printed. Why I have taken this? Because I want to explain you something about the single quote also. So here inside the double quotes, you can use single quotes like this. Okay, so sorry. So now if you run it, you will be able to see it is printed as such. Okay, so that's how printf statement work. Now let us write a program. Let us write a program where two numbers are being added. So first I'll write a program for adding two numbers. Okay. So first those two variables, and somewhere those two numbers must be. So I have to first declare a variable. So let's say I'm declaring integer type as these two numbers a and b. And just I'm interested in displaying their result. Okay. Now the thing is, what will happen just after writing this? So inside memory, two spaces a and b will be created, one for a, another for variable b, and that's it. They will be either having some garbage in it or uh, null, nothing. Okay, so what then? Then I have to, this is called as declaration of variable. Now initialization of these variables have to be done. Has to be done. So let us initialize A with 5 and B with 6. Now what has to be done? Then I have to add them. Okay, so I have to add them. So what I have to do? A plus B. Now what will happen? Nothing will happen. These two will be added. But the thing is, where to assign? We have to store somewhere. So let us create another variable known as add. And then I will be assigning this sum to this variable add. Okay, okay, so far so good. The program will run successfully. Okay, that's it. Code 0 has come. But we are also interested in printing the result. So printf function will be called with a string, that is the sum of. Now let us say I am interested in writing like this. That the sum of A and B is equal to C. Now what will come in place of A? A is 5, B is 6, so it should be the sum of 5 and 6 is 11. So it should write like this. So now here the value of A should come, so we have to write format specifier, which is %d, because A is integer, right? Likewise here. And then after double quotes, then comma, then we have to give what? The first thing first. First is what? A. Then what comes? B. Then what comes C? So here also we have to supply the format specifier. So let us do that. So the sum of percentage %d and percentage %d is equal to percentage %d. Now here, what is this? This is for A, so we'll be writing A first. Then this is for B, then B, and then this whole will be added, and we are writing what? The output. Output is stored where? In add, so we'll be writing add, and then closing the statement. So that's very simple. So let us run it. So you can see the sum of 5 and 6 is 11. If you want to write that in a format which is normally followed, you can also say this plus this is equal to this. That's it. Very simple. So this this is all about the first program. Now you are in a position to understand. Now inside main function, what is basically you have done? You normally do only four things. First, declare a variable declaration, then variable initialization, then if there are some calculations, then the final output. That's it. So in any program, you will be doing these four things only. Variables you will be declaring, you will be initializing the variables, then you will be doing some calculations, and then you will be presenting or printing the output. Now let's say you want user to supply the value of A and B. Then for that, I have already discussed with you that this function scanf will come into play. So let us do that. So instead of this, now one more thing. If you want to write multiple line comment, then forward slash, then star, and then up to which point? Up to this part. Sorry. So in this way, these two lines will be commented. Okay, now come, let's say I want to supply the information from the keyboard. So I'll be writing first printf. I'll be giving a statement saying what to do. So enter two numbers, integer type, let's say. Okay. Now what will happen? If I do this, so string will be printed by saying that enter two numbers. But we have to transfer those entered number to the memory locations of A and B. So scanf, and then first is A, data type, integer, so this, then space, then second, again integer, and then we are transferring to the address of A first and to the address of B. So in this way, you supply the information. So let us run the program and see what happens. So enter two numbers. So first number I am saying 10, and second number I am saying, let's say 5. Then the 10 will be stored to the memory location of A, then 5 will be stored to the memory location of B, then these two will be added and assigned to variable add, and then finally printed. So 10 plus 5 is 15. So in this way, we supply the information from the user, from the keyboard to the system. Now there's one thing. If you want this 10 to come down, then what you can do is you can use \n. This is called as new line character. That is what we normally called as escape sequences. So \n means to the new line. \t means after a gap of, let's say, 4 or 5 spaces. So if I run this particular program now, so the moment this is printed, then control will come to the next line. You can see. So here it is coming to the next line. So here I can give 10, then enter, then 10, and that's it. 10 plus 10 is equal to 20. So in this way, you now know how to use print statement, how to use scanf statements or functions, how to declare variables, and how to initialize them, how to use mathematical operation. First operation we have seen addition. In the next one we'll be uh, using more mathematical operators. Okay, so that's it. So this is our first program. And now you also know how to use GDB compiler or GDB online platform for your program, writing your programs. So in this lecture, till this point only, thank you very much for watching.